Wanted Dead has just had its first major update, making the critics even wronger. Wanted Dead, the awesome and quirky action hack and slash and shooter developed by former Team Ninja members, just got a major update. And since I did my review of the game and why the critics were dead wrong before this release, I wanted to give an update. Now, update 1.13 is big, like really big. There's so damn much included that I can't possibly cover everything, but it definitely makes the critics even more dead wrong. They're like undead wrong at this point, or something. So, I recommended the game before, but if you were on the fence, this is absolutely the time to dive in and see what this game's all about. Now, if you want to know about the core game itself, I recommend checking out my original review before watching this video, since I'll be focusing mostly on the improvements here. Okay, so let's quickly touch on what this update is and what it isn't. It is a set of fixes, rebalancing, and enhancements, but you won't find any new game modes, fundamental changes to the gameplay, or motherfucking air combos, which is why I don't expect IGN will be revising their scores anytime soon. This just makes the game look and play better. So if you hated the game, this won't make you love it. But if you already dug it like me, or were so-so, this is for you. Okay, let's see what it's all about. There are 3 categories: bug fixes, rebalancing, and combat enhancements. My initial playthroughs were fairly bug-free, so even though there were quite a few fixes, it doesn't look like they've had a huge impact on the overall experience. Many are situation-specific and not consistent, so it's entirely possible that you would have never seen any of these, or they weren't hugely impacting. Things like fixing invisible health bars, improved frame rates or improved visual quality in specific situations, and general stability, which is always appreciated. All of the rebalancing will be much more noticeable. It's no surprise that this game was punishing at launch, and not just for game journalists. No, actual gamers thought the game was hard as hell too. So things like extra stun effect or extra damage for melee combos are welcomed. And the guns got some love too, with increased chances to stun enemies or increase damage. The iframes when dodging and the parry windows have been extended, feeling less like luck to take advantage of, and combos have also been extended, making for much more fluid feeling combat. This rebalancing by no means makes the game a cakewalk, and there's still the harder difficulty modes, but this certainly feels much better, especially for the first playthrough, where you'll be ever so slightly more powerful right away. And one of the hardest parts of Wanted Dead, the mini-games, have also been tweaked. Some of the rules have been adjusted, and now the requirements for the Ramen World Legend Trophy have been decreased to only 250 combo hits. So there you go, changing from impossible to nearly impossible. Now the biggest set of updates and what I'm most excited about are all of the improvements to the combat and character progression. There's a ton and it's freaking rad. The skill tree has been overhauled, expanding to add new skills and making a bunch of adjustments to the existing ones. I maxed out all skills early in my very first playthrough, so I'm really excited this has been expanded. If you have a save file from before this update, you'll have to redistribute your skill points. So what are we working with? Starting with updates to existing skills. Slide attacks can now knock shields out of enemies' hands. Leg and arm finishers are now combined into the severed limb finishing strike skill. Finishers now fill the adrenaline gauge about as much as normal kills. Bullet time aiming duration is increased, and only enemies are slowed down, which is how good bullet time should work. Charge attacks can break through enemy armor and stop them dead in their tracks. Oh yeah, and you can now drop grenades at your feet to use them with melee with explosive results. Okay, now these new skills are freaking sweet. With the sliding shot, you can shoot a handgun while sliding multiple times. Adrenaline Rush will activate slow-mo after using bullet time. And then there's a handful of skills like Dismemberment Up, Stun Up, Limb Shooter, and Concussion that all increase chances to hurt enemies in new and exciting ways. Each of these updates by themselves are fairly minor, but take them all together and it really makes this game shine. Everything feels smoother, more responsive, and more engaging. It's clear the development team is listening to the fans and prioritizing what's important to them, and I hope they're rewarded with new players curious to check it out. But now I'd love to get your thoughts. What else would you still like to see? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Have you played Wanted Dead, whether before the update or now? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now if you liked the video, hit like and of course subscribe. And if you want my thoughts on another game, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.